What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. So much like last video, we just had a bit of a combination of a couple of different boosted LS setups. This video is going to be about aspirated ones, just a couple of aspirated cam swaps and stuff we've got coming through the door tunes this week. Like I said, nothing really that important, just data for the memory bank, what sort of cams do what, you know, just basically for you guys who are LS fans. You want to see what happens with what, you know, it's just data pretty much. So first things first, we've got this WH Stato. Came in a few weeks ago for a tune. It's actually a run-in and a tune. It is a fresh engine. This is a VCM 710, which I believe is around that, you know, mid to late 220s, early 230s. I quite like the specs of this cam. I can't remember exactly what they are, but you know, they are good specs for a street cam for a cathedral port, I reckon. This one's got a Holley mid-rise manifold, high-rise, mid-rise. By the looks of it, weird dual plane sort of looking setup underneath the top hat, but yeah, standard, you know, exhaust 4L60, some kind of converter, nothing too crazy. It came in 2 weeks ago, but there was an issue with the tail shaft. It wasn't put together properly, and the tail shaft pulled itself apart at the CV joint. So it's been sorted now. It's ready to go on the dyno, and we'll do a bit of a run-in, quick little run-in, do an oil change, see what it does. Yeah, see what sort of results we get out of it. As far as I'm aware, it's just stock 241s. I don't know that anything's been taken off the heads. So yeah, basically just a fairly stock LS1 intake manifold, pipes, VCM 710. Let's see what it does. Righto, guys, so I just got back from ducking back to the house and doing a few things. Rex tried to get started on the run-in, but found a fuel leak and pulled the fuel line off because one of the fittings was loose to inspect what was going on. And we've got yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know what the tape is.
It's a rubber braided rubber hose, and it looks like...
These are the cutter style, which yeah, I hate to start with.
We generally try and use PTFE and olive.
Yeah, so that's pretty...
So it's just like the cutter fitting is just basically torn up the inside of the rubber and... Pretty much. Yeah, made a blockage.
Well, I wasn't having any fuel pressure issues. It just
a leak. Yeah,
well, what happened is that new coupler in the diff is spitting grease all over the exhaust, which was causing
heaps of smoke,
which was concerning me until I worked out what it was, and I'm like, oh, well, we can deal with that. And then I was just sort of having because we've been running it in, I'll just stop every now and then and go for a bit of a look around, make sure that it's good.
Yep.
And yeah, basically I just noticed, I thought I saw something in the reflection on the back of that filter. I was trying to work out, it looked like something dripping. I was looking at the radiator, I realized it was a reflection, and then I walked around the car, I was like, whatever, I'm not worried about it. And when I looked at it, there was just fuel dripping out of the fuel rail. I thought, well, I probably should fix that.
Yeah, fuel leaks aren't ideal.
No. But I don't know how long it was leaking. There's none on the floor. So, yeah, we're going to have to do something about that. That's not real cool.
Yep, well, we'll just try and re-terminate it, I suppose. I think there was a fair bit of length on it, was there?
There might be enough for one more termination.
Yep.
Might get a bit out of it. You can we could just bend that hard line a touch to get a little bit more. We'll see what we can do.
Anyway, we'll get it sorted. Right, so Rex just took the fitting off the other end, and it's pretty much exactly the same. That's the other end. So
so I'll re-terminate this end.
Yeah,
and then
hope
there's enough. At least it's rubber, so it's stretchy.
Anyway, that's obviously not ideal. That's with 3 degrees more timing. So this So that is just woeful, terrible. It's just not making power. The smoke that you're seeing is nothing to do with the engine. That's just the center bearing throwing oil all over the exhaust because it's all brand new. It's just spitting oil everywhere anyway. But yeah, it's just not making power. Seems like the cam timing might be out or something. It's fallen over really early and it's just not making power. So taking that air filter off helped a little bit, but it's still pretty woeful. When you look at my Statesman, made that power with just an exhaust and a tune. Apart from that, it's completely stock. So there's something definitely up with it.
Definitely seems like that's why it's falling over, because those last two without the filter, it's run,
kept going.
Run out. But still,
We're missing about 50 horsepower.
Yeah, that's
40 horsepower at least.
Yeah.
I would have expected this thing, minimum sort of 340. So something's up. Anyway, I'm gonna go home. But righto guys, so I just got back. Rex tried another run, put another 3 degrees in it, and it went backwards. Back to 295. So these two runs, put 3 degrees in, went 274, took the filter off, went 301, 300, put another 3 degrees in, 295. So there's something definitely up with it. Whether it's a turbulence thing, yeah, like I don't know. I don't freaking know with this thing from what we've seen on other stuff on it. So anyway, it is what it is without, you know, starting to try and confirm cam timing and really start to dive into it, which is stuff we don't really have time for at the moment. There's not much else we can do. It just refuses to make power. Seems to me like it's got to be some sort of mechanical drag issue or cam timing. Seems to be the only real two things that it would be.
I made a couple of changes to that speed on box and stuff, so I'm just going to do one more run
for
today and just see if it's changed that converter at all.
No worries.
Which, I don't know, I'll just see. We'll just do one more run for today and then we'll have to do this.
Righto guys, that's went backwards again. 289. So like it doesn't want any more timing. We've got all the timing in the frickin' world in this thing at the moment. So it definitely seems as though that it's a cam timing issue to me. You know, we've seen it before. People don't dial in cams, then they're actually not as advertised. They're not as on the card. Sometimes they're a few degrees retarded. So it could be, you know, the actual physical cam timing might be fine, but the grind might be off a few degrees, or maybe the physical timing is not fine. You know, it's impossible to know without, like I said, really diving into this thing, which, like I said, we just don't have the time for at the moment. We're too busy. So it is what it is. It's tuned. It's safe as far as we're aware. So yeah, they're gonna have to take it back and probably start investigating some other things as to why it might not be playing the game. But at the end of the day, 300 horsepower. Righto guys, so we got a bit of cold start issues to sort out with the Stato. Yeah, does some weird stuff, like really weird things. It's just, I don't know what's up. I'm pretty convinced that there's an issue with the cam timing. But anyway, that's all we can do as far as the power tune. So on to car number 2 for this little aspirated video. We've got a nice little VX SS here. So this is just a nice little set of tri-wires. It's all been rebuilt a few years ago with hypertechnic pistons. It's a really nice little combo. Little cotton cams, 222, 224 and a 112. So fairly mild cam, but you know, a nice little street cam. I actually quite enjoy this combo the way it is. So all we're doing with this thing, he has an issue where he keeps tearing engine mounts. So we've got a set of tough mounts, decent engine mounts to go in this thing to replace them so that he doesn't have to keep having that issue. And we've also got a VCM OTR, mapless OTR to go in it, and then we're just going to give it a retune. So yeah, I'll get our thing, we'll get this engine mounts in, get the OTR on, and we'll get it on the dyno, and we'll see what this little 222, 224 and a 112 will do in an LS1. But yeah, I like this thing, it's pretty cool. Nice little street car. Righto, boys and girls. Thanks. Righto, boys and girls, she's ready to hit the dyno. Got the OTR in there. We've got our new engine mounts on so that he'll never have issues with engine mounts again. One of them was quite sad, so yeah, ready to hit the dyno. I am pretty excited to see how this thing's going to go. These fairly simple setups on the Cathedral Port LS, like the 5.7s, seem to work really well. I've got to remember to take that off. But like tri-wise, nice little cam, standard intake manifold, OTR, and a good tune. These things do seem to respond really well that way. I don't know if you remember, those who have been around the channel for quite a while might remember a red VY that we once did. Would have been the start of last year. It's since been sold and sold and sold again. I don't know where it is now, but it was a Camtech 233, which is a 233, 233, so an even split. I think it was on a 112, fairly tight lobe, 111 or 112 or something like that. But same thing, just apart from that, fairly standard. Just tri-wise, 2.5 inch exhaust, OTR, and it went 400 at the wheels through a manual. So they just seem to do really well. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this thing goes. Righto guys, we're good to go. So we do have a dyno sheet here for the last tune. So this is the dyno sheet that's in the car from the last tune, 324.8. They're obviously tuned theirs a little bit more rich than we do, but that's 324.8 horsepower, which is obviously not too bad. We've managed to get a bit more than that out of it, but we were talking about it this morning. This really should have been a car that we did a before and after on. We should have run it up with the MAF tune and the full intake that was on it before we went and fitted the OTR and stuff. But unfortunately at the moment, we're just too pushed for time. We're too far behind on work. So, you know, as much as it doesn't sound like much, you know, getting on the dyno, strapping it down, doing the runs, getting it off, there's a good, probably 2 hours. So yeah,
Statesman
we had another car in the dyno as well. So it's not like we're going to wait to do a pre-run before I started actually swapping out the engine mounts and doing the OTR and stuff. So it just ended up being what it was, but we ended up at a 347.7, which is a pretty good result for this thing, for the cam and everything that's in it. So we've ended up with that result on less timing than the old tune was. So, you know, we have to assume, obviously our fuel's changed a bit. We don't run ours quite that rich. Ours is a little bit leaner, which probably picked up a bit of power by being a bit leaner. So we're up here around that sort of 12.8 to 13.0, whereas theirs was pretty much dead flat at a 12. So quite a bit more rich for them. So that we probably picked up a bit of power from leaning it out a bit, but quite a lot of that power I'd have to basically come to the conclusion that it comes from the OTR. Anyway, that's a good result. Like I said, these things just seem to work. You know, tri-wise, nice little cam, OTR, you know, they just seem to work well with this combination. So like a 347 with this size cam and an auto. Not quite sure exactly what converter it is, but it's definitely got some sort of converter in it.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, when I loaded up at the start, it's like 3600.
It's what this funniness sort of is in the power curve, is Rex sort of trying to pedal it into the run because of the converter. So the converter's quite good. It's quite a nice little converter. So, you know, it's a nice little combo.
With the 3.9s, it'd be pretty
peppy little thing. Yeah,
snappy on the street.
Oh, nice little street car. So anyway, another one done for now. Another one sorted. Another little Aspo gem. We'll get it out the door and we'll get on to the next one. Righto, boys and girls, third and final car for our little aspirated Commodore stint. Is a very, very nice car. Big fan of this one. So we've got a VE wagon. You all know I'm very, very partial to long roofs. Yeah, black factory manual SS Z series. And it's also one of the last ones. It's a 2012, it's a late 2012. So, you know, factory flex, E85, that sort of thing. Just a really, really nice combo. Just factory manual, SS, black. And because it's the later one, it's got the really nice interior as well. Nice interior. So, basically the same vintage as Rex's Redline used to be, but yeah, big fan of this thing. So, this has just got a little 1286 Crow cam in it. Stock exhaust, just a VCM OTR. It's the bloke who owns it, it's his Mrs. Daly, so just a nice little cam, and yeah, excited to see how it goes. So the white Statesman, the owner came and got that, and he's taking it for now because he's got a fair bit going on over the next few months, but his plan is to book it back in for a bit later on this year, and we're actually going to start investigating what's actually wrong with the setup and why it's not making power. So that'll be coming back a bit later on. And the little VX, the little white VX, we took it for a street, just to check up on the street, obviously after we finished the tune, to make sure it was doing everything it was supposed to do. And what a little animal that thing is. 347 horsepower, it doesn't sound like much, but that thing set up with the 3.9 diff gears and the converter that's in it, it was really, really just a snappy animal of a little street car. It was really, really good. So anyway, let's see what this thing does. We already know that the standard exhaust in these are quite restrictive. We found that out from the chlorophyll green VE wagon that we did the exhaust on that time that was otherwise stock. So we know the exhausts are fairly restrictive, but we'll see how this goes with the stock exhaust. Rightio guys, quite impressive results to be honest from this little thing with a standard exhaust. I did not expect it to go this well, but we've ended up on a 365 at the wheels. I was sort of expecting 340, 350. I reckon that's pretty good for the standard exhaust considering how much we know that they are restrictive. We did get like a 379, like a pretty close to 380 run on one of the runs, but we ended up pulling a fair bit of that timing out. But what we actually found is that was on E10. So it was E10 that was in the tank. We found when we actually went over to flex that it was running an E10. So that's the E10 tune. We've just drained all that fuel out of it and filled it with E85. So now it's time to see what it'll do on E85. But generally for these things, for the most part, they're not normally knock limited. It's what our experience is with these engines. They've got such good heads, as long as you've got a good exhaust on them and stuff. Generally, you can add timing way past your maximum brake torque point and they won't knock, which means the E85, you're not going to get much advantage out of them because you're still going to be making your MBT at around the same timing. But obviously, because this one's got a standard exhaust on it, what we found with the E10 is that there were a few parts where it was getting a little bit of noise. And that's why we ended up going back from the 378 or whatever it was back to the 365. So given the fact that the stock exhaust is giving this thing a bit of knock limitation, perhaps the E85 will actually help out quite a bit, and maybe we'll get back to our, that 380 point on the E85. So we'll see how it goes. But either way, like I said, that's quite surprising to me, considering the fact that it's still got the stock exhaust. So that's pretty cool.
And it's still trimming just bang on zero.
So about E70.
Fueling should be pretty much spot on, I think. So this shouldn't take too much longer.
Rightio guys, I must say, fairly surprised by the results, but we did manage to just get just under 400 horsepower on the E85. So you can see how much a standard exhaust, it starts to fall over, where with the E85 you can sort of keep timing in it and sort of keep it going. So regardless, the result's quite good, I believe, for a standard exhaust. I keep saying standard exhaust, but it does have the rear mufflers deleted. So just a stock exhaust with the rear muffler deleted is all it is, but still more than I expected it to make. Pretty awesome, honestly. So anyway, that's the Mighty Wags. I'm a big fan of this car. It's just a really nice car. Factory manual, 6 litre, black SS wagon, and the late model with the nice interior. I like it. I'd definitely own it if I, was gonna buy one. But anyway, that's the pretty much the end of our little aspirated LS do. 3 cars, 2 good outcomes, one that will need a bit of a revisit and another looking at, but yeah, we do really like our Commodores, not gonna lie, just LS the world. Anyway guys, thanks for watching as always. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out, see you, bye.